Hey everyone, today we are talking with Raf, the owner of Circuit Works Gym in Santa Monica, California, and we're going to learn from him of how he manages his mental health while running his business. What yearly revenue made you feel happy and why?
Well, what yearly revenue for the business that made me happy was when we hit the $1 million mark, right? Because the $1 million mark for me was this industry standard as far as a fitness company being successful. And that's the reason why. Going from 1 million to 1.5 or anything above 1 million, I actually made a huge dent in a difference in the actual revenue for the business, for the health of the business. But happiness wise, no, it was when I hit the 1 million mark. That's, it was no level of happiness. I was happy at that 1 million mark. So, how I continue to work and build this business and keep my relationship healthy and not falling apart. I think it's, being able to separate work from personal, I think is a big thing. Not taking things personal for me is huge. It's difficult. When you're running a business, you're everything. You're on 24/7 all the time. There is no breaks, right? Not like working for someone. And that definitely puts a strain on a relationship. So for me, when I come home, I have to shut it down. I have to separate it.
Yeah. How do you separate it? Compartmentalize? I feel like it's very difficult.
Departmentalize is difficult. What I try to do is, believe it or not, I try to schedule time that I don't turn the phone off, but I put it in a mode that only for emergencies will it ring, and my staff and my partners are added to that list, and they know that if it's not an emergency, they can text. I won't get the text, I won't see it, but if it is an emergency, they know they can pick up the phone, and my phone is set to accept that phone call.
Okay, so really being diligent with phone time once you're getting home. Anything that you do to unwind?
So what I do mostly to unwind, believe it or not, what I've been doing is just, I come home, I watch, the news, believe it or not, that helps me unwind. I try to meditate. I'm not always successful at that because, again, I'm so wound up that if I don't meditate, wind down by watching the news or reading, then, it's hard for me to fall asleep.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. Do I ever experience imposter syndrome? Yeah, I think, I experienced that sort of feeling and that syndrome more often than I'd like. And as I've gotten older, I've learned to sort of just live in my own shoes. But yeah, when I feel things are going successful, I always, I tend to just take a look and goes, am I really capable of this?
Yeah.
Is that really me? Can I actually pull this off?
Yeah.
And again, how I move past it is I just grind. I go into like a sort of autopilot almost, I fight it. I'm not the type that's like, you can do this and well, you can do this, you got this. I'm not that kind of person. I just own it. I keep myself busy. I focus on the task at hand.
So really it's chipping away, but you didn't think about it. You hit $1 million in revenue. Those thoughts still creep in.
Oh, 100%. Like, is that gonna hold? And do I deserve that?
Yeah.
Is something gonna go wrong? Like, is the bottom gonna fall out? Like what's gonna happen? Like, if I hit it, but is that gonna be sustainable?
Yeah.
Am I capable of keeping this business sustainable?
So when those thoughts creep in, you're saying like we just focus on the next task at hand to be able to combat that.
Yeah, I focus on the next task. I go into grind mode. I try to do whatever I can to make sure that it stays afloat. But yeah, it's stressful. I mean, I'm stressed about it and and scared, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I just grind. I do research. I read. That's one thing that I've always done is I'm constantly learning and reading and digging, digging more into whatever's gonna make this business successful. I see what other people are doing. I look at the competition. You know, especially those businesses that I think and feel that are successful. So I don't try to reinvent the wheel. I go to my staff, I go to people I know, I talk to them about it. You know, I keep my brain going. So we've been in this location a little over 2 years. Before this, we were on Main Street for like 10 years. We had 3 locations strong, and we're opening up 12 in San Francisco. And that was pre-pandemic, so the pandemic happened. And so we had to downsize, and we moved into this location literally a little over 2 years ago.
How long have you been in the whole industry, you said?
I've been in business, CircuitWorks has been in existence for about 20 years.
20 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
Started in my garage.
Okay.
From there, it started actually on the beach, then in my garage, and our first commercial location was on Abbot Kinney in Venice.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay. What inspired you to kind of start CircuitWorks?
So what inspired me to start CircuitWorks, the actual HIT sort of training, like when I started this, there was no HIT studios anywhere. Like, this is before any of the other HIT studios that you know about. When I started in my garage, the only thing that actually existed as far as small group studios was like spinning, yoga, and I think like step aerobics. What inspired me to start it was sort of by accident. I was doing like a boot camp on the beach for a while, and then I moved to my garage and did like personal training, and then I found that more and more people wanted to train with me, so then I started taking 2 at a time, 2 at a time turned to 3 at a time, 3 at a time turned to 4 at a time, and then it was like I had to create a system to be able to manage 4 or groups of up to 4 to 6 people at a time, and that was the birth of CircuitWorks. There was a moment that I knew this business would be a success. This was a while ago, right? This was 20 some odd years ago. When I started training people on the beach, when I started this whole boot camp sort of workout, believe it or not, it was by accident. It wasn't like I set out to have a business on the beach. I just got my degree in exercise physiology. I just started, I had a corporate job at LA Fitness, and I noticed my own fitness level sort of on the decline, even though I was working out in the gym. And how we trained in the Marine Corps, because I spent 8 years in the Marine Corps, how we trained was we did HIIT training. That's how we trained. But in a gym setting, it was sort of impossible to do, because every time you get off a treadmill, there's like, someone gets on it, then you like go to a weight machine or a weight station, and you gotta wait for that. So it was impossible to actually do a HIIT training format workout. So I started going to the beach before I had to go to work. And I would go out there and I would do my own HIIT workout. I'd bring bands with me, some dumbbells. Eventually I started bringing obstacles. I went to Home Depot, got like those big heavy like gas cans, filled them up with sand. I was dragging those around. I was doing runs on the beach. And then I thought my decline in my fitness level was due to age. It was like, I'm getting older, that's probably why. Yeah. But I'm like, well, what did I do when I was in the Corps? So I started doing these workouts and noticed my own fitness level climbing back to the way it was when I was actually in the Marine Corps. And not only did I notice it, but other trainers at the gym noticed it, other clients, they're all asking me what I'm doing. And I told them, they're like, well, can we come out there and train with you? They had never heard of that kind of workout. And again, this is like 20, 25 years ago. And so I'm like, yeah, sure. Well, a light bulb went off in my head when one day, at first it was like 4 people showing up, 5, sometimes it was 10. Well, when I showed up one day to do my own workout, and it was like something like 20 people out there to run through it with me, it was a light bulb that went off in my head. It was like, $5 a head, That's when I knew I was onto something. And I noticed the beach workouts were great. I ended up growing it to 3 locations. I had the Venice location, I had Malibu, I had Huntington Beach. But the problem with the beach workout, oddly enough, we're in California, a drop of rain falls out of the sky and everyone disappears. So I noticed my business falling off a cliff in the winter. So what I did is I started doing one-on-one training in my garage, and I grew to group personal training. I called it group personal training because it was still HIIT, but it was with a group. And I got 2 treadmills, a couple of bikes, and I created photos of the exercises. I couldn't teach every single person every exercise every time they rotated.
Yeah.
So what I did, I got 8.5 by 11 size photos of like the beginning pose and the end pose, or the beginning and end pose, and I put them up on my brick wall in my garage, and I hung them on hooks, and we had like 5 stations. And then they would I would put a little 1, 2, this is station 3 and 4 and 5, because the technology for videos didn't exist at that time. So they would follow the boards of the pictures on my brick wall.
Yeah. That's not everyone that you founded hit.
Yeah, it was just, I didn't, like the Marine Corps or military, we've been doing it for years. I didn't found it, but I was the first to bring it, to commercialize it to normal civilian market. I was the first to do that. Nothing else existed when I started that. And again, I wanted videos, but the technology wasn't there. So when I started doing this sort of group personal training thing, and I had a waiting list. Once I got to a waiting list of people that wanted to join, a year-long waiting list to train with me in this, that's when another light bulb went off, and I'm like, oh my God, I need to turn this into it was a side thing. It was like, I need to turn this into a real deal. And that's when I got my first commercial location on Abbot Kinney in Venice. And this is Abbot Kinney before before what you see now in Abbot Kinney. This was like, it was nothing but drug dealers out there. It was all run down. It was dangerous. Abbot Kinney was like a shit street.
Not like this.
Oh my God, no. Now it's like the new Beverly Hills. No, back then, oh no. It was like I had to kick the bums out in front away. It was, they were selling drugs every block. Oh no. But I had these sort of upper echelon people come into that location to train with me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
The closest time I thought about giving up was during the pandemic. Everything was shutting down. We had lost pretty much all of our revenue. It just seemed like there was no end in sight. There was no recovery. I had to shut down all of our locations except for the one in Santa Monica. The only reason why we kept that one afloat was because the city allowed us to work outdoors, and that was the only location that we had like a sort of an outdoor space that we can still do classes in. So that was definitely the closest I felt. I mean, revenue fell off a cliff. I went through my savings like burning paper, Yeah, it was tough.
And how did you decide to keep going?
So how I decided to keep going was the community that still needed us, my staff that didn't have any income. I kept it going primarily for them. I mean, I was burning through my savings like there was no tomorrow. But I knew that if I didn't keep them, employed, they didn't have the savings that I had, that I built up over the years. So for me, it was about, saving their way of life. So what success means to me now is about community. It's about my connections, my friends, my family. This business, I tell people this all the time. Like, we're not in the business of fitness, we're in the business of community. Fitness is our vehicle. Without community, without family, what are we? What is life? So that's, how it's changed for me. In the beginning, it was about money. It was about leaving some kind of a legacy, building, up a business, leaving something that will still be running and be here long after I'm dead and gone. But that's changed, obviously, because you realize throughout the years that what makes you happy is the people you surround yourself with. I think how things changed for me wasn't really based upon a certain age. I think it was more circumstantial, right? It was more, seeing how things were without community, without family. Having to go through the pandemic was a huge benchmark for that sort of shift when, everyone was sort of, keeping their, staying alone in their homes during the lockdown. I had no one around me. I found that, throughout the years, when I lost my mom, you know what I mean? When I lost one of my best friends to cancer, it was sort of events that changed, not necessarily age. I lost my dad and my mom, and my best friend. So when you start to lose people, when you are experiencing loss and experiencing loneliness, you start to realize how important community and friends and family are in your life. Something that people don't get to see that's behind the scenes in this business is all the things that go wrong. Like the other day I had to fix the toilet. I had to fix the cold plunge earlier. We had a leak from the big rains. I had to climb up on the roof and fix the leak, all done by just watching YouTube videos. So there is something that every week there's something. People don't see that. They come into a clean studio, they come into everything working, and they don't see the work that's put in behind the scenes, the repair stuff, the processes that put these different and engaging workouts together, the scheduling of the staff, to putting out the fires. No one sees the fires being put out. They only come in when there's no fire and the room is clean, right? So running a business isn't, there's a lot of more work goes behind the scenes, and you have to wear all the hats, like marketing, putting together the marketing. Like I do all of that. Yeah. I'm from the general manager to the plumber to the janitor to the electrician to the program designer. There's many hats you have to wear as a business owner.
Wow.
And that's the thing that no one sees.
Yeah. Yeah, we kind of just walk in and be like, oh,
this is work. Oh, the towels are great. Oh yeah, but they don't know that the dryer and washer went down a few days ago and I had to get in there and fix it because the repair guy is gonna take a month to come.
And you know how to do it all.
Yeah, you learn to do it all.
Yeah.
And the business owner that does not learn to do it all is going to be faced with a lot of hardship in this business, because if you don't know a little bit of everything and you just know a lot about one thing, this is not the right career for you. You should not be a business owner. Business owners know a little bit of everything. It's like a primary care doctor, right?
Yeah.
They got to know a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah, that's a business owner. Yeah. You have to wear all the hats. Finance, I had to learn Excel. I had to learn, things like, Final Cut. Like I had to learn, AutoCAD, which is a software that you use for, architectural plans. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that I outsource, but here's the thing: if you don't know a little bit about it, that's a problem too, because even if you outsource it, they could charge you whatever and tell you whatever is going on. And if you have no knowledge, you just got had, right? I mean, now they're gonna double charge. Whereas like I've had, a repair guy come in, like for example, I fixed the toilet. I just literally fixed it. But I had a plumber come in because I didn't have time, and he wanted to charge me $1,200 for a repair that the parts were $120. And when I looked into it and I knew, and I brought it up to him, he was like, oh, then he started backpedaling. Oh, okay, well, I can do it for, I'll take 50% off. But the part is $125. So, and I get labor, but I looked at it and I know it because I researched, I looked at some YouTube videos on how to replace it. Hour job, maybe 20, 30 minutes to an hour job. So I'm paying you, just so I'm clear, $1,000 an hour? So I just did it myself. Yeah. So knowing, like electrical, I had an electrician come in and fix one of the panels. I got a YouTube video, saw how to do it myself. Now I didn't want to dig into that job, but I knew, and from my discussion with him of what we needed, what circuits we needed replacement, he knew not to take advantage of me because I knew my shit. So even if you outsource, even if you don't have the time to do it, it would be in your best interest to learn as much as you can about it. Again, as a business owner, know a little bit about everything. Yeah. So one thing that I do consistently to stay mentally strong is work out. I train. Now, when it comes, I got into this business and love fitness for this very reason. And I tell people this all the time. I say, look, don't train, don't work out for the results that you may receive, because those are the ones that don't stay consistent. That's why you get, January, February, you get that rush of people, they're in here killing themselves, and then they don't see the results and they drop off. Do it for this reason. Do it for how it makes you feel mentally. This is a mental game, right? This is my therapy. I don't do it for any sort of physical gains. And don't get me wrong, every now and then I'm, getting ready for the shower, take my shirt off. I'm like, oh shit, it's working, But that's not the reason why I do it. I do it for the mental gains. I do it for the therapy of it. That creates longevity. That creates consistency. That creates habit.
How often do you work out?
Every day.
Every day.
Every day. Monday through Friday. Saturday and Sunday, I don't work out, but I try to stay active. Like I do active stuff. I go on a hike. I'll take my dog for a run on the beach. I'm still active, but regular like workouts in my studio, doing the HIIT classes, doing the yoga, that's Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday, every day.
Every day. It's therapy, and I'm not necessarily killing myself either. It's not like I'm lifting super heavy and I'm like super sore and I can't do it the next day. No, because I'm working out for my mental health.
Aside from physical training, is there any other mental health tips that you have to stay mentally?
But outside of working out physically, I also do a lot of mental workouts. Like, the whole concept, the whole purpose of this studio, the reason why this studio offers yoga, cold plunge, wellness, Pilates, HIIT, is because we strongly believe, and I strongly believe, that it's not just about working out, it's also about working in. What happens inside your head, what happens inside, you have to work that out too. You have to take care of that. So yeah, meditation, sure, reading, hell, doing puzzles, keeping my brain active, doing things that I enjoy. Working out, also, you should also work in.
Have you noticed the different, like you're saying, being in this space for 20 years, how has mental health evolved or even approached from the physical side of things? Like, are clients talking about it more? Are trainers talking about it more?
I think that how mental health has sort of grown in sort of this physical workout space has been just, through the years, people have realized that, through a lot of research, obviously, and I'm sure a lot of studies have been done on this, that, your brain is connected to your body. You keep your body strong, it's going to strengthen your brain and your mental capacity. I mean, that's just, and I think that discussion has been had more and more throughout the years. And now the research has been done. The results of that research and all these years of looking into the effects of working out, the effects that working out has on your brain, all the research has been how it could, it combats, Alzheimer's and dementia and a lot of different things that otherwise, would not have been known had it not been for, therapists and people doing that groundwork and researching, the effects of physical exercise to the brain. So now it's like sort of common knowledge and becoming more common. As the years.
So just noticing more people talking about it.
Yeah, absolutely. 20 years ago, or even 25 years when I trained, I didn't, again, when I first started working out, when I first got into fitness, it started, with me, being an athlete, but it continued through the Marine Corps, and I continued to do it long after I was competing. I continued to do it because of the way that it made me feel.
And then the more and more research, and reading that I did on the subject, and the more research that was done on the effects of working out, the effects on your brain, the more that I realized, well, yeah, I knew that, but now this sort of confirms my belief. Working out is also a mental and therapeutic act.
Definitely, yeah.
Woo! Yeah, baby. You want to get in here with me?
All right, I'll start.
Woo! I get in here on the days that I don't have it in me. Other things that I do when I don't have it in me, again, this is a mental game. So I just tell myself, just go through the motions. Right? Just go through the motions. You don't have to push yourself. You don't have to go super hard. Just go through the motions. And you'll be surprised if you just do things by just going through the motions. I tell myself, again, it's a mental game, that if I just go through the motions, don't push myself too hard, no matter what, nothing bad, I'm not gonna feel worse after. I'm always gonna feel better after. So that's what I do, Woo! That was fun.
Yes. Well, that's a wrap with my guy Raph. Check out Circuit Works out in Santa Monica, California. What time you guys open?
We open at 5 a.m.
5 a.m. Wow. What time you guys? Oh, yeah, the hours are
Yeah, we open at 5. Our last class ends around 8:30 p.m.
8:30. Okay.
We're open 7 days a week.
7 days a week.
That's right.
They got great intro offers. Talk to him, hook you up.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe, and I will talk to you later. Take care.